Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the video review of Warbotron Fierce Attack. This is the final figure in the Warbotron line. As you can see, this figure is an homage to the original G1 Onslaught. The coloring of the figure is perfect. This is exactly how I remember the original Onslaught figure being, but I don't remember him being so ginormous. Now, he does come with several accessories. He comes with this giant double cannon that can be split apart and held in robot mode. We'll put that off to the side for right now. He comes with this large shield bit that looks like it holds up those cannons. He comes with this entire rear section of his alt mode, which unpegs very difficultly from the main vehicle mode. This whole flatbed section, which we'll put off to the side. He also comes with this giant transforming gun, and he also comes with these two little drone units that are supposed to be like little tank drone units. They form the feet in the final combined mode. And he also comes with two sets of articulated hands. He comes with a lot of stuff. Not all of the stuff is used in all of the modes. As you saw, his vehicle mode is composed of the main truck unit and several other pieces. Then there's another mode that acts as a launch pad for not blast off. These bits here, the two cannons that are wielded in vehicle mode, the giant gun, and the two, well, drones, actually merge together. So to do that, we take the main gun thing here, and this brown bit actually pegs into and between the two drones. It doesn't peg in very well, though, so just be aware of that if you do pick this set up. It's a little bit of a pain in the tuchus to get all of this combined. Then we fold these bits out and flip the cannons around, fold the gray feet up, and then we flip out these little bits that are, or these little handles that are much too difficult to flip out, and we'll peg them into the back. And here we have the launch pad form, which good luck getting everything to stay together. I don't think this is an official form or mold, but I see this pictured everywhere, even in the actual official pictures for the figure. It's not in the directions at all. In fact, the directions are terrible. They don't even show the figure in vehicle mode. It's all robot to vehicle or robot to combined mode. Nothing going back and forth from either one. It's just, they're not good directions. And they don't even have this mode. Hell, they don't even mention these bits right here in the directions. So take that for what it's worth. But I do appreciate that fans have come up with this idea. It works. Not really practical, though, because it doesn't hold together all that well. For the flatbed section of the vehicle mode, the tank is easily stored on the back, and you can also store the Not Swindle figure. Heavy tread here works perfectly well and can back off with no problem. He could go off and destroy Not Autobots all day long at his own leisure, and then he could be driven home. So that's nice. The main truck mode is very nicely detailed, and I actually like this truck a lot. It is a bit busy in the back or in the bed, but that's okay. I could deal with that. Major issue with this figure, though, has to do with a bunch of these little panels. There are a couple of these. They have a tendency to break and pop off very easily. I was just touching the figure and it fell off. So this is something that we'll be talking about when we do the combination, because these flaps, just F them. I mean, seriously, F them. Nice riveting, nice molding, overall a decent, very good vehicle mode, actually. It does feel a bit shaky in points, and let's face it, as I said, there's a lot going on back here, but overall, I like it. It has a very Mad Maxy vibe to it. Fierce Attack's transformation is surprisingly easy, given the other guys who are a little bit more complex. To start with, we will take the side mirrors here and fold them up along the body. Come to the sides of the vehicle mode and pull off the missiles. We can always reattach them later. These green bits on the side will unpeg and fold down. Then the rear of the vehicle mode will stretch out from the rest of the vehicle, forming the legs. Come to the back and fold out the feet. Sometimes easier said than done, but you can get these feet to fold out. And once you fold out the front of the feet, these sections will fold out and form down and form shins. Then reach underneath and fold out the heels and stand the figure up. For the upper part of the torso, we're going to reach into the fuel tanks and fold them out to pull apart the entire front of the vehicle mode and butterfly them out along the sides of the vehicle mode. But before we do that, come to the sides of the doors, fold them up, and then fold them in on themselves, like so. One thing you do need to be careful of, these hinges here are already showing on my figure some wear and tear. There's already warping going on here, so I'm seeing that a lot in other reviews as well. So butterfly these sections out like that, get them straight out, then lift this section that's underneath the windscreen up and over the windscreen. Then the entire cab will fold forward and in between the butterflied sections. And this butterflied section is really tight. It's really tight clearance. Then that section we just flipped up above the windscreen, we will actually flip it down and peg it into place to form the abdomen. On my figure, it doesn't really peg in all that well, unless you use excessive force. Now we could take the entire figure and twist the hips 180 degrees. Come to the backpack of the figure and open up this green section. You see not Brutic or Warbotron's head, but you can reach up under his neck and flip out Fierce Attack's head. And then just close up this backpack again. And here is his head. Next, we come to what will be the forearms. Twist them very carefully. Open them up and flip out the fists. And we'll do that for both sides. The last bit of the transformation is to add his missiles to his skirt and to these green flaps on the sides of his legs. The final robot mode actually looks pretty imposing, and I do like it. It's nicely proportioned and looks good. The directions do not show any way to attach the big cannons to his back, or his backpack, but I've seen online and I've seen on other reviews that there is a way to do it. I will show you that here in just a second. Overall though, I think it looks good, but with these guys attached, it is overly top-heavy. And there are some real posability problems with this figure, which we'll get into here very, very shortly. As you can see, Fierce Attack has some really nice light piping. The back of his head is pretty much all light piping, but I really, really like it. To attach the cannon bits onto his backpack, you see the green section here has these little indents right here and right here at the tips of my fingers. Those will actually peg into holes that are on the combined form of the giant double cannon. So those pegs will go into these holes. Though getting those suckers pegged in is a nightmare. It's just a huge pain in the butt, and they don't really hold on all that well. As you can see, I've just barely been able to get them on, but I can't argue with the look. I like the look of them. He can wield them in robot mode as guns, though. Removing the giant cannons, I do want to talk about posability. There are problems here, especially in the torso. You heard the horrendous sound that the elbows make. Oh, that does not sound good. Well, the shoulders make that same sound. But that one's fine, pretty much. So, yeah, even though you've got double hinges in the elbows and the fists do rotate, oh, I'm terrified to move this thing because of those sounds. It's horrible. Ball joint is a little bit loose on the head, but the hinge as part of the transformation is a real problem. That's very, very loose. These little flaps here just make the figure feel unfinished, and they get in the way because they just keep folding out and rubbing up against the insides of the shoulders. There's plenty of torso articulation, which is fine, and you would think there'd be ratcheting. There's not ratcheting with in and out motion, but there is ratcheting forward and back, swivel at the hinge or at the thigh, and then a nice ratchet at the knees. No problems there. Foot articulation is okay due to these double hinges, but you do run into problems where these bits just wiggle a little bit too much. Obviously, that's not to say you can't pose him, but he is a bit problematic, especially those arms and shoulders. Oh, those sounds just don't, they're not right. You can unpeg the front wheels to the vehicle mode to enable him to have a hinge here for articulation in the shoulder. Now, he can wield the giant cannon, but this thing also transforms. This is the way the cannon is supposed to be displayed or transformed in the combined mode. When you want to use it with fierce attack, you can collapse it. To start off with, first pull off the original stock, flip this piece out, and then attach it to the stock. Take the cannon barrel and flip it around, and then just kind of fiddle with the back here, and you get a much more collapsed gun. Now, you don't necessarily need the stock here. You can pull that off and attach it somewhere else, and then the figure can hold the gun using this peg. Or another way to do it would be to take one of these bits, one of these clips here, or I should say these, I guess these are combiner ports for something else, and just attach it to the side of his arm. But as you can see, things have a tendency to get in the way. So while he can technically use this gun, it's not going to be practical at all, which is a real shame because you have a giant cannon going to waste. I don't like seeing that. It makes me sad. At the end of the day, Fierce Attack is not a great figure, and it is definitely not a good finish for the otherwise really nice set of figures. It's kind of sad because I was expecting a lot, and what I got just isn't that great. Now you might be wondering why am I not doing the combination right now? Well, that's because I want to do that in a separate video so I could dedicate that video to the combination. So join me next time when we take a look at the final combination of Warbotron. Guys, I've been Baltmatrix, asking you to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you next time.